Xbox 360. Second Xbox 360. Why do I have two of them? Well, about a week ago, I shot a video with this console trying to mod it for the how to not mod your Xbox 360 video. This was supposed to be the console that was in that video. This is a Corona V3 board in here, so you need a postfix to mod this thing, so I got stuck after I flashed Zell, not realizing that this was a postfix console. But I really like this white console. I quite like these in white. The glossy white consoles don't get nearly as fingerprinted and scratched up, visibly at least, as the glossy black ones. The matte black ones are just kind of boring, at least in my opinion. But either way, the reason I have two consoles here, this is a 2012 console. The board in this one's not even, no, this was a Corona board. I don't know. I don't remember if this has its original motherboard in it. I don't remember. I think I took the board out of here and swapped it with another console that I was modding at some point. I don't remember, but what I do know is this isn't moddable now. That's why I bought this Xbox 360 right here from McKay's for $8.95. I haven't tested this yet. We're gonna test it together. So my plan of action is, if this system works, this should be a Corona V1 board. It's a 2011 manufacture date, so this should be a Corona V1. If it is, we'll take the board out of this thing, mod it, put it in the white case, put the white case system back to retail, because I flashed a glitch NAND onto it so that I could, because I thought that I would be able to solder RGH, but I can't because there's no post. So we'll flash the white console back to retail, swap the board into this thing. That way, we don't lose a functional Xbox 360 if both of these systems work. But, you know, even if one of these systems doesn't work, we have enough parts to where I can put together a single working Xbox 360. The one thing I'm actually scared of, though, I will have to swap the optical drive with the motherboard, because for some reason Microsoft in their infinite wisdom paired the fucking DVD drives in these things to the motherboard. So I don't have a drive flashing computer. If I did, ooh, that's a fun idea. I wonder if I could do that. Well, if it comes to that, I guess I'll be flashing a drive, but if this optical drive works, I'll just swap the drive. Because you can swap these valences out pretty easily between drives, so I'll put the white valence on it, but the drive should be alright. But yeah, let's test this system first before we do anything. Need my capture card. Oh, that's a problem. That HDMI port's not happy. I can tell you that right now. Oh, that's finicky. Let's see. Oh yeah, it works. Okay, cool. I just got a working Xbox 360 from McKay's for like $8.95. I wonder if the optical drive works. Holy crap, there's a game in the drive? Why does this always happen? Assassin's Creed 4. Well, I guess I have a copy of Assassin's Creed 4 now. Cool. The optical drive works because it recognized the game. Xbox controller. Gotta actually sync it with this, no, not the optical drive. Gotta do the thing. Okay. Okay. Does this system have inbuilt storage? No, it doesn't. Good. This isn't a big block system. Okay, so I don't have to worry about eMMC then. Sweet, okay. What dashboard version even is this? I think 17559 probably? Yeah, 17559. Okay. That cave being all zeros is weird, but I think that's just because I have no internet connection. Let's see. Wi-Fi's not configured. Okay. Sweet, yeah, this thing just seems like it's a working 360 board. Okay, let's mod it. You can buy Xbox 360s for like pennies on the dollar right now. Because like, I only paid $9 for this thing. I mean, granted, it didn't come with a power supply or anything like that, but like it's fully working. It just has some visual issues. That's why I'm sacrificing the board out of this thing, because it's not as nice looking as the white one. Okay, sweet, let me take this thing apart. Ooh, need that, and that, and that, and this thing, and this, and the data stick. And the 360 copper. Okay, cool. All right, that's everything. This is going to be a bit of an interesting maneuver. I'm going to take the system down to parts first. I'm going to take the other system down to parts second. I'm just going to put the screws for these in the same screw tray because, like, you know, you watched me scramble the screws in the other video with the 360 fat. Right. Now let's do it. I was able to put it back together again, so, like, I mean, these are sort of the same for me. The only ones of these I don't actually have any experience with are 360Es, but most of those aren't moddable anyway, so I don't care. Okay, let's take this thing apart. Torx T9, I'll need that. Torx T7, I'll need that. Or that's a T8, I think. T8 and a T9, you need to take one of these apart. Maybe a T10 is the right one, I don't know, but I'm using a T9. I always use a T9. Here's that broken plastic vent here. I guess you can kind of see it. See where it's like falling off there. Whoever took this apart last didn't do it right. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Yeah, see, it doesn't even like grab on this side at all because the clips are broken. This top vent was a bit of a pain in the ass to get off. As you can see right here, if I push up on this, the inner frame comes above the outer frame. Someone tried to take this apart by prying this part out and not actually taking care of these clips that border it, which is a fairly common thing to do when you're taking apart a 360 for the first time. I've done this a few times, but if you just like bend it back down and put it back into the slit right here, line it back up again, this should grab again when I put it back together. It's not a broken clip. The clips are all right. It's just that bit. Okay, I see dust. I see pet hair. Probably a cat, if I had to guess. It's shorter hair. It's not like dog hair. Ugh, microfiber. Oh my god, yeah, this thing's gonna be disgusting. Okay, let's get the case off. Oh wait, I gotta pull the network card first. That's what makes the Wi-Fi happen. Even on the 360 Slim, the Wi-Fi controller is external, like the FATs. It's just integrated within the case. This looks like wide USB. Like, if you look in here, it sort of kind of looks like a USB pinout. Like, you've got the two long pads on either end of two shorter pads. It looks like USB 2. It probably is USB, honestly. Wonder what would happen if I plugged this into a PC. That's a future video, I guess. Warranty. This thing's never been opened before. That's weird. Okay, well, looks like whoever was servicing this thing previously chickened out when they couldn't get the side grate off. That's funny. The warranty sticker's still on it, so clearly no one else has been in here before me. Actually, I don't know. I've seen consoles with this sticker still intact, but not have the internal one. If the Xbox 360 sticker is still on that Torx T9 bit that goes through that secures the top side on, then I'll know it's not been tampered with. Gone. Bruh. Oh, ow. Good, I didn't break the clip. Sweet. Living right. Oh, oh, look at the underside. That's not even where airflow goes. That's how. Ugh, why is this my life? Why can't people clean their video game consoles? Literally, 30 seconds, your console will be able to breathe again. People wonder why their consoles die. Like, it's this. Okay, good enough. Interesting. I don't see the other Xbox 360 sticker in here. That would be right here, but I also don't see the, it would normally, maybe that's a Trinity only thing. I'm not sure. Comment if you know, but usually there's an Xbox 360 sticker on one of these screws if the warranty is still intact, but I'm not sure. I don't see it. No, those are witness marks. Someone's been in here before, I think. Not sure. Who knows? If someone has been in here, it's a damn shame because they didn't clean all the dust out. I don't know if you can see the dust build up there, but ew. I'm used to an extra screw being here on FATs, but there's not one here. Dust reveal. That's not too bad. Look at that. Compared to the front side, where all the dust is clumped up in this thing, this actually isn't the worst. I've seen far worse. Yeah, see? Ew. How did so much dust get down there but not in the console? That's interesting. Yeah, holy crap. Look, it's all over the ring of light board. Weird. And get the ribbon cable for the front panel. Bruh. There we go. I'm gonna clean that first. I would keep hand sanitizer with me when I'm working on stuff like this, but like, you know, I just spray alcohol on my hands. Oh hey, this is a Lydon DG16D5S. This is the slim version of the DG16D2S and the fat. These are way better though, I've found. These don't suck nearly as bad as the fat drives. These don't like seize like the fat ones do. I've never seen a stuck slim drive, surprisingly. I'll probably get in here and re-lube this drive anyway, just to like make sure it gets it, because, I mean, you know, 2011, like, 14-year-old lube in here, I should probably clean that out with some fresh grease. Oh, and by the way, remember how in the last video I said that I like the way the fat optical drives are wired because you have more wire length to work with? This is what I mean. You have to pull, you can't pull the drive any forward in this housing at all because the SATA cable and the power cable are too short. So you have to like shove your hand in here like this and like work against everything else, and it's a whole pain. Yeah. One optical drive. Let me actually label this so I don't swap the optical drives between the two systems. One. I'll put a 1 on the motherboard so that I know that this is board 1. Holy crap! Oh, that's a thick layer of dust. Look at how fat the dust layer on this board is. Wow. Okay, I don't think someone's been in here. It would be a lot more obvious if someone had like been in here to try to mod this thing before or something. I don't see any signs of tampering or anything. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone tried to open this thing and chickened out. I mean, that's my guess because the side grate is very telling. Okay, let me get the board out. Let me label the roll board too. These aren't paired to each system, but you know, just to be safe. At some point, I had a bunch of blue SMD LEDs. I kind of want a blue LED swap this ring of light board because that would look really cool on the white console, but yeah, that's a later video. I can tell the board's never been out of this carrier before. The heatsink screws were on there. That has never been removed before. Okay. Yeah, that clunk you're hearing is normal for these. It's the fan bearing. When you play with the shaft, oh, that's an unfortunate. When you play with the like fan output shaft up and down, that's what's making that clunk. These all do this. A lot of the older Revision fans do. I'm pretty sure this one also does it too. You can kind of hear it. You'll be able to hear it better when I pull it apart. Bruh. There we go. Okay. Ooh. Nice smattering of dust under the board. I don't see corrosion though, so that's a good sign. Let me clean everything up before we start. Okay, let me pull the heatsink because I got to anyway. Aha! I didn't actually nick the board this time. Okay, quick detour. I sprayed this board down with alcohol and let it dry for about 30 minutes. It's significantly less dusty now. I learned my lesson from the sins that I committed with the last Xbox 360 when I sprayed it with alcohol and it didn't work anymore. So, already pulled the X-clamp. Dust reveal. Ooh. Yeah. It's pretty par for the course for one of these. It's about what I'd expect. Good thing I have toothbrush. Oh, I don't. Dang it. Nah, I should be fine with just the rag. Fan first. I much prefer the thermal paste, by the way, that Microsoft used in the Slims. It's so much easier to clean. I don't have to, like, scrape it off like the 360 Fat. Like, that 360 Fat that was in How Not to Mod Your Xbox 360 had, like, that wasn't thermal paste. That was thermal glue. Actually, probably I'm gonna end up needing a toothbrush for this. Wobber. New toothbrush. Right, heatsink's clean. Let's get the board cleaned up a little bit more. Let me also really fast just verify that this system does not need a post-fix. Nope, IC trace is there. Yeah. Okay, yep, Corona V1, we're good. Okay, the dust has been removed. This guy's ready to mod. Okay. Let me, we're gonna have to solder the NAND programmer twice. First to this thing next to the other console, because I'm gonna flash this system back to retail. So, let me just solder it to this thing first. Okay, let's solder up the NAND programmer. Soldering iron. This is a Corona with a 16 megabyte NAND, so I'll be using these wires here on the programmer and not these. These are for 4 gigabyte consoles like the white one. We'll have to use these to reprogram that other board back to retail, but you know, this is a 16 meg board. I honestly prefer the 16 meg systems because the eMMC systems have a tendency to like throw their eMMC because eMMC is shit. These are just like standard Hynix flash chips. They're so much more reliable. Okay, right. NAND programmer is soldered. It's time for another cameo from the Windows laptop. Oh, and now's a good time to say, if you like what you see so far, like the video, subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel a little bit. The last video actually got a surprising amount of traction, considering it was only my second video in the series. It got like 300 views. Thanks, guys. That's pretty cool. Also, if you have video ideas, put them in the comments. I'm open to just about everything. I don't know. I've got plenty of content, but like, I mean, hey, if y'all want to see something, I can certainly do anything. 360 slim power cable. You might think that you might be able to, now that the console casing is gone, plug this connector in upside down, but actually no, there's a notch in between these two connectors that lines up with a peg that's in that power port that makes that impossible. Oh hey, my taskbar icons are gone again. See? Windows laptop. I hate this thing. This thing is terrible. This thing's a piece of crap. New JRunner instance. Read NAND. Sweet, first try. Awesome. That's okay. That's always a good sign when it works first try. That means this board's probably just like fine. Okay, sweet. That was surprisingly smooth. Yeah, Corona 16 mag. Yeah, good sign. This should be fine. Let me write the RGH3 NAND. Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb and go ahead and desolder the NAND programmer from the board, because I have to solder it to the other console board anyway, so might as well just go ahead and desolder it now. It's only gonna be in my way. Oh, the soldering iron's not on. Okay. Mac trackpad. Need to pull up the wiring diagram. Okay, hot take here, by the way. It's time for a potential, who knows. Mac trackpads are the best form of input for a computer. I swear by these big Bluetooth external Mac trackpads. Using them with a PC kind of sucks, but like Mac OS is way better on a trackpad than it is on an actual mouse. Is that just me, or is that as much of a hot take as I think it is? I don't know. Clean the flux off of these pads now that I know I don't have to use them again. Okay, RGH3 time. The 2 points we need to solder to are under the board. It's R3, R3 to post 1, and then R3, R6 to a PLL point that I have to scrape off the board. I'm gonna do the post run first. I've actually been working on soldering with my left hand a little more. I actually think I'm starting to be a little bit more ambidextrous than I used to be. I have pretty decent control with my left hand now. I've been trying to teach myself to solder with my left hand so that I can like do awkward wire runs like this without it being a problem. Alright. There we go. Okay, that's good. Okay, so for PLL, I'm gonna go ahead and solder to the already existing pad first. I don't really want to be moving this wire around very much because I'm soldering to a via that I'm literally gonna have to scrape out of the board. And I want to put as little pressure on that as possible. So I'm going to just go ahead and solder this one first. Alright, let's expose that via. It's right down there. Oh yeah, I totally did get that via. Okay, sweet. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a bit out of practice. There we go. Now that's accepting solder way easier now. That's it. Now you can see much better. Now I actually got a blob of solder to adhere to that. Normally, if that were a pad, I would think that joint was a bit too big and I'd remove some of that excess solder, but I'm gonna leave that there just so that it provides some structure, because it's a very, very, very finicky via that you're soldering to there. So, you know, the more solder I have there, the more that's gonna adhere. That should be all right. Let me clean some of the flux off of this, and then I'll put the heatsink back on and test. All right. It's good enough. Let's see if it works. Here's your top tip. The 360 ring-of-light boards on these don't have physical power buttons anymore, but you can bridge the two pins on the ribbon cable connector with a screwdriver like this to actuate the button. Like so. Holy crap. Insta-boot. Literally insta-boot. Awesome. Okay. Right. Let's see if this thing will red ring of death when I put the GPU screws back in it. That would be funny. Now we have to take the white console apart because I need those case plastics because that's what I'm gonna put this board into. You can go over here. Get this thing out the way. I didn't repaste this before I put it back together, so I will need to do that now. I don't know, maybe this thing is just fully retail. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I left this thing alone for the most part, but yeah, I don't know. Oh wait, I didn't take the other... Forgot to take the other valence panel off. Whoops. Okay, there we go. DG16D5S as well. Funny. That's also a light-on drive. Oh, jeez. I hate the optical drive cabling on slims. Ugh. I'm going to leave the optical drive cables connected to this board because I don't need to remove them. I'm not going to be soldering to anything on the underside of the board, just the NAND programming pins. Okay, so this finger light board and this motherboard need to come out of this board carrier here. Ow. This can go over here. Oh lord. Oh, and the camera battery's dead. Bruh. So it's about 4 hours later. The camera battery died, so I had to wait for that to charge again. Anyway, new board's in the new board carrier. Let's test it. I'm gonna put the CPU screws in before I actually test this time, because if I don't, then we may have another situation like the 360 FAT from the last video. Okay, so I put the CPU sync screws back in. I'm trying to avoid a situation like how not to mod your Xbox 360 when I put the CPU and GPU screws in, the board decided to red ring of death for no reason. I'm trying to avoid that. So that's why I just put the sync screws back in. Let's test. Sometimes you just gotta jam these like plastic locating pins back into where they go under the Xbox sometimes, because sometimes these can just get misaligned as you're dropping the board in. So just like a little bit of pressure will usually seat them back properly again. All right, let's see. Yeah, insta-boot. Okay, sweet. Alright, works. Okay, let's get an operating system on here. Or, yeah, honestly, I'm gonna put an operating system on this before I put it back together all the way. Just so I don't have to add, like, emergency solder the NAND programmer back on. Yet another Windows laptop appearance. This thing's starting to become a recurring character on the channel. Oh hey, BBL Latinas playing Apex Legends. Wonder who that is. Okay. Thank you, Steam. Very cool. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. If it decrypts a serial number, I've found that's generally proof enough that the decryption process worked. So, okay, let me make a USB update for this thing. Create Dexy build. Okay, that looks right. UPD flash. Yeah, replace the file. That's from the last video. Remove the USB key. Okay, I can put this away now. Well, I can't actually. I need this to flash the other system back to stock before I put it back together. Now this needs to get plugged back into the MacBook so that we can use the capture card. Oh, and this goes there. Oh good, I found the update file. While I'm thinking about it, let me swap the balances on the DVD drives. Yeah, I may have to pull the drives apart. Dang it. Okay, well, screw it. Okay, the firmware is written, so I can test to see. I'll put the white drive in, and if it reads a disk, oh well, the other motherboard will need this drive. Okay, I'm gonna have to swap the drives then. Dang it. Well, okay. For now, let me see if it powers on. There we go. If I hit eject, it'll boot into Zell, and that's not what we want. Sweet. Yeah, she works. Cool. I don't know if the controller will connect. I think it's technically the same system. Oh yeah, there you go. See? It's the same console, just in a different body. Okay, cool. 17559. Okay, cool. That's a good start. Let's transfer the optical drives. So when you're swapping 360 optical drives, there's two ways you can go about it. You can either swap the drive PCBs, and, you know, that would work, but I'm not necessarily trying to swap all of the mechanics with the drives. It's literally just these two valences. So the other way is I can just pull the drives apart and pull the trays, and I need to lube these drives anyway, so it'll give me a good opportunity to do that. So I'll just do that. Is now a good time to admit that I've never taken one of these slim drives apart? Because I've never taken one of these slim drives apart. Guess we'll find out how this works together. Oh, are these adhesived together? Seriously? Microsoft. Oh, bruh. Are you for real? Microsoft. Okay, I'm glad they kept serviceability in mind. Oh yeah, it's like a completely different design in here than the DG16 D2S drives. It's slid off. Interesting. This is a way different looking thing. Okay, well, the good news is oh, hang on, I may have to actually eject these with the Xbox. Oh! Damn it! Really? Are you kidding me right now? Ladies and gentlemen, I have done it again. What is the problem this time? Hello? Huh? What is my sin? You worked! I just moved it. Are you for real? Oh my god. Really? I don't know. I don't know why it red ringed. Why did you red ring, Xbox? That was weird. I should have asked it for a secondary code, but I figured it would red ring again. Unbelievable. Does it actually boot to operating system? Yeah, it's just fine. That's a new one. Okay, what happens if I plug the optical drive in then? Oh, I plugged the optical drive in upside down. Weird. How the hell did I manage to do that? Okay, I think it might not red dot of death now. Bruh. Hang on, did this thing just red dot of death because I plugged the optical drive in upside down? It literally felt like it would only key in that way. Why couldn't they just put a setup power end on this? Why did they have to do, I don't know. Unbelievable. Bruh. Okay, well now I can say I've made an Xbox 360 red ring by just plugging the optical drive in upside down. How about them apples? I need the other drive, come here. Okay, that's literally all I need. Okay, now that you're ejected, you can go over here in the timeout corner. Okay. I still see grease on that. I still see grease in here, but I'll add some more. Goop, come here. I need your Goop services. Goop makes a return. If this drive sticks, then I know it was the Goop that killed the other drive. We can do this for science while we're at it. Okay, I lied. I don't need the Goop no more. Oh hey, one of these ribbon cables is from a different vendor. Same drive internally though. This one's just slightly dustier. Bruh. Okay. Okay. I bet that's a fun noise to edit out in post. There we go. Okay. This guy's good to go back in the black system. Let's put this tray in and then start putting the other console back together. Yeah, I see grease on this drive. You can't see it on camera, but I don't feel like proving it. Let's see if my modifications are kosher enough to read a disk. Oh, this may require some further assembly than I'm anticipating for just testing. See, this is my problem with 360 Slims. You can't, if you want to test the optical drive, you gotta short it out on the entire motherboard. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to put this actually like some of the way together to test this. Looks like the board screws are going back in then. And all of the surrounding valence stuff. Now the optical drive can go in and I can test the optical drive. Because it won't short out on anything. Thanks, Microsoft. Very cool. It's a good thing I cleaned all the flux off this board before actually like mounting it back up in the case again, because otherwise that would have been a big pain. I hope this is gonna work. I'm using the original drive sled that would have been in this thing with the old board. I don't think the actual drive sled SATA cables are paired to the motherboard. That would be ridiculous. This is once again why I hate plugging in the optical drive on a 360 Slim. Microsoft got it right, and then they screwed it up. If Microsoft had just made this cable ever so slightly longer instead of cheaping all the way the hell out, this would have been so much easier. All right, let's test. Okay, good sign. Does the drive eject? See if I can hit the eject button before the console boots all the way up. I can't find the pins. There we go. Okay, let's see if it'll read a game disc. This disgusting copy of Assassin's Creed that's been on the table the whole time that I found in the optical drive. Okay, recognizes its drive. Someone turned autoplay off on this thing. Or maybe that's not the default setting, I don't know. Okay, yeah, that's good enough for me. Awesome, okay, this thing just kind of works. Will it detect a hard drive if I plug it into it? That's the next question, because that's going to be very important, because I kind of need to have a working hard drive slot. Okay. It's taking a while to... thinking about it. Okay. Oh, I need to format this drive. Oh, yeah, okay. It detects the hard drive. That's a good sign. Okay, cool. Right, let's put this thing all the way back together. Okay, let's get this thing all the way back together. Oh, I forgot to put the ring of light board screws back in. Dang it. I think we're ready for case plastics. Let's see. Optical drive. Oh, I forgot. Oh, good. I always forget this part. CPU fan valence cooler. I guarantee you I'll forget this on the next system. I think it blocks light from when you're looking in through the side panel. I'm not sure. But whatever. I'm putting it back anyway. Let me just make sure this thing works, and then we'll call this thing done. Yep, okay, cool. Let's make sure the optical drive opens. Yeah, see? Only the fat drives stick. None of the slim ones do. It's weird. Okay. Sweet, okay, working Xbox 360. There you go. Okay. Let's get the other system back together. Well, I have to obviously solder the retail NANDs back on first. Okay, cool. That can go away now. Ugh. So the X clamp definitely has to come off of this thing, if nothing, if for no other reason than a repaste. I'm pretty sure I didn't put thermal paste on this one before I put it back together last time. There we go. Yeah, I didn't even clean the dust off. I'm gonna do that now. Yeah, if I put this thing back all the way together again, there's no way this would have stayed cool. It's the next day. clamp. Heatsink's back on. Now I just have to solder the NAND programmer, flash this thing back to stock, test it, and then it should just go back together again. Whoa. Don't know what that was, but whatever. Okay, cool. Right, I need a Windows laptop. By the way, I was doing some testing with the other system. I was installing all my games onto it because that is going to be my main Xbox 360 now, the white system. And it turns out the wireless card that was in that black console appears to have not been working. It didn't detect its wireless adapter. I had to swap it with the one that came out of the white system. So it's very well possible that this Wi-Fi controller right here just straight up doesn't work, but we'll see. All my taskbar icons are gone again. Of course they are. Okay, power supply. Load source. Output. That one. Right NAND. Oh hey, it's on, oh no, it is on 17559. Patch slot 1 has 17489 in it, which is odd. Maybe it just like archives the old registers or something on the flash somewhere. That would make sense. I mean, this is a 4 gig system, so it has the extra space for it. It's not like the 16 meg system that went in the white system. Sweet, okay, I think that's all we need from the Windows laptop. Let me just copy the screen recordings off of it again. Yeah, this thing's only copying files to a USB 3.1 USB key at USB 2 speeds. I really don't get what the deal is with this thing. Like, like most other Windows laptops I've used in my experience it's this Windows laptop in particular that sucks ass. Maybe it's the internal SSD starting to wear out on this thing? I mean, the disk queue, and look at the disk queue real quick. The disk queue is not even at 1. It's not the SSD. That is ridiculous. So it's probably just the way Windows is using this USB adapter, because when I plug it into my Mac, it copies at full speed. Like this exact same adapter and USB key. And it's even NTFS, I don't know. Okay, you can go over here. Alright, that's the last of the Windows laptop we need. Let's see if this thing works. Oh, and while I'm at it, I can test this Wi-Fi card and see if it's the Wi-Fi card or just that system didn't like this specific Wi-Fi card. Let me go get an Xbox controller. Right, let's see if this thing works. That wasn't what I wanted. There we go. Sweet, okay. The fact that it even boots at all means that there's no more there's not a glitch NAND on this thing because it's booting to a dashboard. Right. Sync the controller. Okay. It's working fine. Okay, cool. Does the Wi-Fi card work? Oh, it doesn't. Interesting. Yeah, this is what it did in the other system. It said connect your... See what I mean? Even the Slims, when you don't have the Wi-Fi card connected, it says use an Xbox 360 wireless networking adapter like it's a FAT. That's interesting. I wonder what's wrong with this thing. That's odd. What dashboard is this again? Probably, what, 17559, if I had to guess? Yeah, 17559. Okay. Let me figure out why that Wi-Fi card's not working. That's interesting. That's kind of bizarre. I've never seen that happen before. That's a new one. Okay, well, let me try alcoholing out the pins and see if that'll fix it. 9 times out of 10 with vintage technology, I've found if you just use isopropyl alcohol and clean the contacts, usually stuff will start working again. It really depends. Like with old RAM, that's my Hail Mary. It always works with old RAM, unless, you know, the RAM stick is bad, but, you know, that's it. The RAM stick being bad can happen, but it can also just be a bad connection because stuff's old. There's some residue on there, so who knows? It could be just fine now. Okay, still boots. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, I guess this Wi-Fi card just is dead. That is bizarre. Okay, Well, when I put this system back together again, I'll put it back with the Wi-Fi card back in, but like, that's stupid. I don't know why that's failed. I put the working Wi-Fi card in the white system because I want the white system to work. I don't really care about this thing, but the NAND works, so I can desolder the NAND programmer. That bit's alright. Okay. Now that that's off. Okay. Now this system can go back together. Let's put all the plastic crap back in. Okay, screws can go in now. I'm not even going to bother testing this thing until it's all the way back together. I don't care if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, that's just future content for me. Still can't believe I caused a red dot of death yesterday by plugging the optical drive in upside down. That is hilarious. Yeah, okay, top case can go on now. Oh, wait, shoot, ring a light board. Whoops. Oh, the board's not seated all the way. What the heck? I put screws in you. Oh, right, the peg. It's always these pegs that don't... There we go. Okay, now the top case can go on. Wi-Fi card. Even though it doesn't work, I'm still going to put it back in here. See if that side vent will grab again. Oh, sweet, yeah, totally. Fixed it. Okay, cool. Okay, so now the only thing wrong with the system's just its Wi-Fi card. Console works. Okay, sweet. 2 mostly working Xbox 360s. This one's now retail, the other one's modded. Actually, before I forget, let me label this. Bad Wi-Fi. I'll write that on the sticker too. Bad Wi-Fi. Okay. Boom. 2 mostly working Xbox 360 Slims. We even caused a red dot of death on this one. Anyway, like if you liked, dislike if you disliked. I don't know, maybe you didn't like this video very much. Subscribe. Goodbye.